Mirror motivations, they practice changing from negative to positive right there. See, for many people, when they're feeling negative, they have time, they need time to cool down. They need time to get out of that negative state, and then they move to a more neutral state, and then they can somehow get to that more positive state. Now, see, what we're going to do, what you're going to be able to do, is to be in that negative state. Ideally, we want to catch ourselves before we get into it, but the world is not ideal. But you're going to be in that negative state, and with maybe 2 or 3 snaps of a finger, you go right to the positive one. How do you do it? You already know. You probably already guessed how to do it, right? Remember how you were for the positive for the last 3 days. You came up with these positive behaviors, and you figured out how to trigger them. I'm not about to pump my fist because I'm not about to get excited like that. But see how you can even visualize yourself doing something, and it can change you. See, and that's the power. That's the power of your mind. Okay, so for practicing and changing from negative to positive, instructional guide. Use your instructional guide. I've already placed my decal on my mirror. All right, and here what you're going to do is you might need to refer back to your journal so that you can have a clear understanding of how you get into that negative behavior. You might need to look back at that recipe that you created, how you stand or the situation that you're in. And you might not be able to physically create it, but you can visually create it. And that's powerful in itself. All right? So you want to look back at that recipe, and then what you're going to do is you're going to jump in. You're going to actually make yourself run that, bake that, use that recipe, and experience that negative behavior or expectation. And then you're going to right when you get into it. You got to get into it. Right when you get into it and you're in it, and you're feeling it, whatever it is, anger or whatever it is, when you're in it, then you go and you kick off your trigger. It could be the jumping trigger. It's whatever trigger you created that creates that positive behavior. All right? And in the beginning, that negative one may want to hang around for a little bit longer. And you're probably going to have to work a little bit harder on that positive one. You got to put yourself into the trigger and that positive experience. So you put yourself into it and you keep increasing the intensity of it so much so that negative is gone. Period. All right? And so first you're doing that in the mirror. It's kind of like a trial run. All right? And then throughout your day, you're going to practice 1 or 3 of the 3 negative to positive transitions that you have. Now you could even go from a neutral state and kick off the positive. Because what we want is the positive stuff. But it's really powerful to be able to go from the negative to the positive. But if you can go from the neutral to the positive, that's good too. You're at work and it's just a regular day. But you want to be more creative and focused and stuff. You kick off that positive trigger, and now you're like, okay, I got this. All right? So practice it during the day, not just one time. Over and over. The more you do it, the more you work it, the more you run, the stronger you get, and the faster you get there. The more you build that muscle. All right. And then at nighttime, you're going to comment in your nightly journal. And this one would be more of just commenting. I mean, it's just, there's just room for you to comment on your experience. That's it. All right? So that's day 22 through 24. And by now you know how it goes. You're working on one a day. You're focusing on it. You're engaging yourself in it. You're loving yourself enough to say, I deserve to really commit to doing this because, and actually say the becauses. Because how it's going to change your life with your kids or with your spouse, or how it's going to help your finances, how you can improve and enhance your career. The becauses, the whys are very important. All right, so make sure you do that. And then for our last day together our last day together for this first phase, the developing your higher self phase, you're going to do what's called developing a success ritual habit. Little habits that create bigger successes, ongoing successes. And I don't mean success as an outcome all the time. I mean success as in growing, continuing to improve that better you. Remember what I said, can you improve? Yes, you can improve. How quickly you improve is up to your commitment. That's it. It's how much you, not how much, well, yeah, how committed are you to improving? And that's what we're doing with Mirror Motivations. All right. So for day 25, we're going to actually look to create your own success ritual. Now that's going to be there's a lot of trial in that. And you're going to definitely be encouraged to start small, but I'm kind of moving on when I should. All right, so make sure for day 22 through 24, make sure you fully engage each aspect of it. And your guide says it'll take about 30 minutes, so what? You know, and you may want to, I encourage you to take a little bit longer if you need to. Just do what you know in here you got to do to get what you want. All right.